Good day everyone, this is Quadcore and today we will be discussing an important topic in information security. Our presentation will cover four key areas, which is security policies and procedures, organizational security and responsibilities, security standards and compliance, and lastly, governance and risk management. These topics help us understand how organizations protect their information, assign security responsibilities, follow established standards, and manage possible risk to keep their system and data secure. We hope that by the end of our presentation, everyone will have a better understanding of why these concepts are important and how they are applied in schools, businesses, and other organizations. So without further ado, let's begin our discussion. And today, I will be discussing the first topic, which is security policies and procedures. Security policies and procedures are the rules and step-by-step guidelines that an organization creates to protect its people, information, computers, networks, and other resources from security threats such as hackers, malware, viruses, and unauthorized access. In this lesson, we will be learning of what is security policies and procedures are, why they are important, and how they are applied in real-life situation. And now, understanding these concepts is essential because every organization needs clear rules and procedures to protect its data, employees, and system from cyber threats. There are two important terms to remember. Number one, security policy. A security policy tells employees what they are allowed or required to do. For example, employees must use strong password for all company's accounts. So in other terms, a security policy is a formal set of rules that will tell the companies on how to protect information, systems, networks, and other valuable assets from unauthorized access, misuse, theft, and damage. So again, in simple terms, a security policy tells employees what they are allowed and not allowed to do, how to protect company information and systems, and what actions to take if security incident occurs. Now let me give you another example. A company may have security policy that requires employees to use strong password, never share login credentials, lock their computers when they are far from their desk, and last, report suspicious emails or cyber attacks immediately. So these rules, it will help to keep the organization's data and systems secure. Second, security procedure. A security procedure explains how employees should follow the policy. For example, create a password with at least 12 characters, include uppercase and lowercase letters, add numbers and special characters, and change the password every 90 days. So in other terms, in simple terms, security procedures, it is an action. It is a step-by-step instructions on how to follow the security policy. So once again, a security policy, it is a rule. And a security procedures, it is an action on how to follow those rules. And now, let me give you another simple words for us to remember and for us to easily understand the difference of policy and procedure. When we say policy, it is the rule. And when we say procedure, it is the steps. Now, let's proceed to the purpose of security policies and procedures. The purpose of security policies and procedures is to protect an organization's information, systems, and employees from security threats while ensuring that everyone follows safe and consistent security practices. Now, security practices and procedures help the organizations to protect confidential information, to prevent unauthorized access, to reduce cyber attacks, to guide employees on proper security practices, to ensure everyone follows the same rules, and to comply with laws and industry regulations. Why are they important? Security policies and procedures are important because they help serve as the foundation of organization security program. They provide clear rules and step-by-step guidance that help prevent security threats and ensure everyone knows how to protect company resources. Once again, security policies and procedures help keep information, computers, and company data safe. And also, they teach employees what to do and what not to do, helping prevent mistakes, theft, and cyber attacks. Now, let me give you a real-life situation. This situation is very common. It calls phishing email. An employee receives an email that appears to be from the company's bank, asking them to click a link and verify account information. So instead of clicking the link, the employee recognizes signs of a phishing attempt because they were trained on the organization's security procedure. So as an employee, it is very important for them to disregard that kind of email that asking them to click this link or to give them or to verify their account information. Because the moment they do that, they click that link, they verify the account information, it is an opportunity from the other side to open their accounts. And that's why it is very important for them that they will be trained, they are disciplined about the phishing email. So even if we are not employee, even if we are just students, sometimes we receive unknown emails asking us to click this link or to verify our account information. It is important for us to disregard also that email because we don't know that emails. And the moment we click any links, we give any information for them, it is also an opportunity for them to open our accounts, to hack our accounts or anything. And now we have the following company policy. The employee does not click the link or open any attachments, reports the suspicious email to the IT or cybersecurity team, deletes the email after receiving instructions from IT, and the IT team then blocks similar emails and warns other employees about the phishing attempt. Now this is the outcome. The phishing attack is stopped before any sensitive information is stolen. This shows how security policies and procedures help employees make the right decisions, reduce the risk of cyber attacks, and protect the organization from potential financial and data losses. Now, let's proceed to the summary. Security policies and procedures are essential guidelines that help organizations protect their people, information, systems, and assets from security threats. Let us remember that security policies define the rules and expectations from maintaining security, while security procedures provide the step-by-step instructions for following those rules. Together, they reduce risk, promote consistent security practices, ensure compliance with regulations, and help organizations respond effectively to security incidents. By following these policies and procedures, organizations can create a safer, more secure, and more reliable working environment. And now, let's proceed to the next topic.
Good day, sir. So, I'm going to report the governance and risk management. At first, what is governance? Governance is the process of planning, directing, and monitoring an organization's security efforts. It ensures that security is not just the responsibility of the IT department but is supported by the entire organization, especially top management. In simple words, governance means making the rules and making sure everyone follow the rules. For example, is school. The principal creates the school rules, while the teachers make sure that students follow the rules, while the students obey the rules to keep the school safe and organized. Some exa- uh, For example, also in governance is imagine a company has the rule for employees must use strong password and enable two-factor authentication. Management creates this rule. The IT department sets it up while employees following it. If someone does not follow the rules, the company reminds them or requires them to update their password. This is governance because it is governance because everyone has a role in protecting the organization. Key parts of governance. First is leadership. Company leaders or executes approve security policies, provide funding, and make important decisions about cybersecurity. Second is policies and rules. Governance establishes clear policies so everyone knows what is allowed and what is prohibited. Third, monitoring and evaluation. Organizations regularly check if employees are following security policies and if the security controls are working effectively. This can be done through security audits, employee training, regular system checks, and performance report. And the fourth one is continuous improvement. Cyber threats are constantly changing, so governance requires organizations to review and improve their security policies regularly. So, governance protects company information, teaches employees about their security responsibilities, helps organizations follow laws and regulations, and reduce the risk of cyber attack. Without governance, employees may not know what security practices to follow. This can lead to mistakes, data breach, financial loss, and make the organization systems easier for hackers to attack. Let's move to risk management. What is risk management? Risk management is the process of identifying, analyzing, and reducing risk that could harm an organization. A risk is anything that could cause damage to information systems or business operations. Risk management is the process of finding possible threats and understanding how serious they are and taking action to reduce them. A risk is anything that can cause damage to a company. Some examples are hacker, viruses, phishing emails, weak passwords, employees mistake. The purpose of risk management is not remove every big every risk because that is impossible. Instead, the goal is to reduce the risk as much as possible. The risk management process. The risk management process. Identify the risk. First, identify possible threats to the organization. Ask questions like what could go wrong, what valuable information do we need to protect, or where are weak points like that. For example, if what if hackers steals customer information? What if an employee clicks a fake email? Step 2. Analyze the risk. Next, determine how likely is the risk to happen. If how serious would the damage be if it happens? How much damage will it cause? Some risks happen often, but have little impact. Others happen rarely but can cause major damage. For example, if customers' payment information is stolen, the impact would be very serious. Because of that, the company will prioritize protecting that information. Step 3. Reduce the risk. After identifying the risk, the organization decide how to reduce them. Common solutions include installing firewalls, using antivirus software, creating strong fast password, encrypting sensitive data, backing up important files, training And also training employees to recognize phishing emails like that, enabling two factors authentication also. This action make it more difficult for cyber criminals to attack the organization. Step 4, monitor and review or monitor the risk. Risk management never stops. Cyber threats continue to evolve, so organization must regularly check whether their security measures are still effective. If new threats appear, they update their security policies and improve their defenses. If This is why risk management is an ongoing process and not something that is done only once. Some real life example is imagine an online shopping company or online website. The website stores customers' name, address, and payment information. So, some possible risks are hackers stealing customers' data, employees accidentally deleting important files like that, and also website downtime due to cyber attacks. To reduce this risk, company uses strong password, install firewalls, encrypt customer information, perform regular data backup, two-factor authentication, train employees to recognize phishing emails, and also data encryption. Because of these security measures, customers' information is better protected and customers can trust the website when making purchases. In simple words, governance is about security rules, assigning responsibilities and making sure everyone follows them. While risk management is about identifying risks, analyzing them, reducing them, and continuously follows them. These two concept work together to protect an organization systems, data, organization employees, and also customers. Without governance and risk management, uh, organization became more vulnerable to cyber attacks, data breaches, and financial losses. In summary, governance and risk management work together to keep an organization secure. Governance provides direction by creating policies, assigning responsibilities, and monitoring compliance, while risk management focuses on finding threats, assessing their impact, and reducing them through appropriate security measures. Together, they help organizations protect their information, maintain customer trust, and continue operating safely even when new cyber threats arise. This concept to protect an organization.